We're going to talk about the dreaded NCLEX test.
Somebody help me! Somebody help me!
Tell me about it. Yes, the NCLEX. You survived nursing school, you got through all your classes, and now you have to sit for this board exam. But we're here to tell you you will get through it.
You got this.
And we're going to give you some tips on how to do it.
Exactly.
What's up, you guys?
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Kim.
And I'm Dira.
And this is Nurse Talk. So if you're tuning in, that means you guys want to know more about our NCLEX tips. So I'm happy you guys came because we keep it real with all things nursing.
Yes, we do.
So first, let's dissect. What is the NCLEX? So what is it, dear?
So, thanks for asking. So, it's a computerized adaptive test. So that basically means that as you take the test, it's going to formulate based on you.
Right.
So no two tests are alike, all right? So you can't ask your friend, oh, what kind of questions did you get? Because you're going to get something totally different.
The NCLEX can have at minimum 75 questions or at max 265. Now, like Dira said, this test is adaptive. So it's basically going to work off of you. Mm-hmm. However you're answering these questions, whether you are acing through everything, getting them right, you may end the test in 75 questions.
Right.
But if you're not doing so well, the test will give you more questions so that it gives you an opportunity to pass.
Yeah, so it's kind of like helping you out. So right. Even though you might get to 265, it doesn't mean that you failed.
No. So the format of the test comes in multiple choice, order of response, select all that apply, and also you have your med calculation questions. So those are the type of questions you should expect while you're taking the exam. Mm-hmm. So now that we've told you what the NCLEX is about, we want to give you a few tips. So 7 tips and 1 trick on how to pass the NCLEX. And when after you're taking the test, how to figure out if you passed or not before you get your results. So stay tuned.
Tip number 1. So you want to create a study plan.
Right.
Okay, just like you did in school, in order to stay on top of everything, you needed to know when you were going to study and have a good plan and a handle on it. So just same thing for the test. You want to make sure that you're creating a plan that's actually something you're going to do. Because
right.
I know if I say oh, I'm going to study for 10 hours.
What?
It's not happening. Okay. No. So you want to make sure it's something that's doable, like maybe 2 hours a day on your days off or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then that way, since you have a realistic goal, you'll actually commit to it and do it.
Right, right. So you're saying 2 hours a day is kind of a good study plan?
Yeah, I would think 2 hours a day is pretty doable.
Yeah, yeah. So now what is tip number 2?
So tip number 2 is to make sure you use good study aids.
Right.
Study aids are created just as they said to help you study.
So some good study aids are Saunders for one, right? Mm-hmm. Kaplan is really good.
That's actually what I use.
I use Kaplan too. There's UWorld out there. Shout out to UWorld. If it wasn't for you, I don't know where I'd be.
What?
So UWorld is a good one. And then also ATI. I haven't heard a lot of good stuff about ATI.
We used ATI at my school. I didn't use it beyond what they made us use it for.
You need study aids like those to kind of help you with your study plan. So you have to choose a study aid that works best for you. Just like UWorld, Kaplan, ATI, they all have different ways to kind of help prepare you for the NCLEX. You have to find one that best suits you. I know UWorld, for example, is set up just like the NCLEX. It looks identical, mm-hmm. and their rationales are amazing. It's so simply put that it's just so easy to understand.
Right.
So that's one I would recommend personally. I'm not sponsored, but UWorld, if you want to sponsor somebody, But yeah, no, I would definitely recommend it because the rationale was great. The screen kind of set me up for the NCLEX and prepared me for that, mm-hmm. and also it just was a good study aid. Nice. So just make sure you find the one that's right fit for you.
Right, and ask around. Like, other people can tell you, like, oh, I like this. I mean, we've only named, like, what, 4 of them? There's probably a ton of other ones out there, so make sure you ask around.
Now for tip number 3, Dira.
Questions, 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 okay? You want to make sure that you're constantly answering questions that are based on what you're going to see on the NCLEX, okay? So if you go and do a no questions, I guarantee you probably will not be successful in passing. I'm not saying that that's necessarily true. I'm sure there's somebody out there who has passed that didn't do questions.
I am so great.
But the best way to do it, and the way we've done it, is to actually answer questions, okay? You want to make sure you're doing a lot of practice.
And also, reading through the textbook, I don't think is really going to do it for you at this point. The reason why the questions work, because it prepares you to sit down and do multiple questions back to back to back. So you're getting your body accustomed to sitting in front of a computer screen and just going question after question after question after question. So physically, you're getting yourself prepared, and then mentally, I mean, you got to retain something. You're answering all these questions,
right?
Something's got to stick. So, also with the questions, what's one thing that they should be doing?
Oh, definitely read your rationales. When you get something wrong, just don't beat yourself up and be like, "Oh man, I got that wrong." Move on. Make sure you're reading why you got it wrong. Okay, so that way, when you come across this topic again or this type of question, you know how to approach it.
Yeah.
So that's really important too.
All right. Now, tip number 4. Stay positive. Now, I know that's like sounds so stupid, but really, stay positive. This test is not going anywhere. You already did the hard work. It's time to take the test. Just keep a positive attitude about it. So you studied all this time for this test. You're going to go in, you're going to ace it, and you're going to do great. So
Take the test.
keep that positive attitude. Negativity really is gonna rot you.
Tip number 5, okay? Forget what you learned in clinical.
Let it go.
Why do you have to forget that?
Let it go. Because whatever Nurse Ratchet, Nurse Jackie taught you in clinical, that is possibly her shortcut, you know, her time management way of finessing her way through her day. That's not what's going to help you with these boards. They don't want to know what Nurse Jackie's doing to get through her 12-hour shift. They want to know evidence-based practice. How are you supposed to handle things?
Exactly. So you can remember what Nurse Jackie did. Tuck it in the back of your head.
Save that for when you start working.
Exactly.
You're going to need that.
Yeah, you
she
definitely
had some gems. So tip number 6 is the day before the test, chill. Okay? Make sure you're ready. Take that day to relax. Don't study all crazy the night before. Whatever you know at this point is what you know. I would suggest doing basic like mnemonics. Maybe learning your lab. I'm not learning. At this point, you should know your lab values. But refreshing with the lab values and stuff like that. Those are stuff that you do the night before. But other than that, relax. Get yourself ready. Make sure you have your ID ready for when you go and take the test. You're going to need an ID.
Right. Don't look for that the day of. Make sure you have it easily accessible for when you leave in the morning.
Right. And make sure you get enough sleep. The last thing you want to do is take a test on 0 hours of sleep. So make sure you get enough sleep so you're not discombobulated in the morning when you go to sit down for your boards.
Yep. Tip number 7, the day of the test. Make sure you leave with plenty of time, okay? You can't plan for that construction or that flipped over car that you didn't know about last night, okay? So you want to make sure that you leave with plenty of time to spare.
Right.
That way, when you're showing up to the test, you're not running in there, heart racing. And usually when you're really anxious about something, then your mind starts to go. So, at least mine does.
Mine's always gone. Always gone.
But yeah, once you get to your spot, make sure you use the bathroom, okay? It's nothing worse than shaking your leg and thinking about when is your next break so you can pee when you're trying to answer questions. You want your mind to be totally clear and ready for this test, okay?
Yeah.
And also, guys, make sure you're taking your breaks. The test is going to give you breaks in between, like, a certain amount of questions. Make sure you're using them. Take the time to just decompress a little bit, stretch, get a snack, stuff like that.
Now, our trick, which you probably heard before, but since it's coming from us, it's something new. So
that means it's true.
Yeah, new and true. Because you remember, we do the research.
So you don't have to.
Right. Trick is, after you take your boards, right, when your anxiety's all high, you're like, crap, I gotta wait, like, what is it, 3 to 5 business days?
Something like that. Something ridiculous.
Something. And the test is taken on a computer. Why I gotta wait so long, right? That don't make any sense.
It doesn't.
But you have to wait this ridiculous amount of time to get your results. One thing you can do to find out if you pass or not is to go back onto the board's website and sign up for another test.
Say what?
Yeah. So you're going to go through the process you did the first time. You're going to try to sign up for another test. Now, here's the thing. If it allows you to sign up for another test, you might have to do it again, which is okay. It's fine. You might have to go back and take your boards again. But if it doesn't allow you to apply for another test,
then turn up. You probably passed.
You did it. So that's a good sign. I know personally, when I finished my boards, I tried it. That trick definitely worked. Because it wouldn't let me sign up. I didn't believe it at first. I was still like, I gotta take it again. I was like, this can't be right. I don't know. But you had a different experience from me.
I definitely did. I did the trick, and then it said I couldn't register, so I was like, oh, I passed. Let's go.
She was a believer from the beginning.
Yes.
I wasn't. I was really skeptical. But guys, from what we've seen, what we've experienced, and what we've heard other nurses experience, it actually does work. Yeah,
it's pretty legit, because everybody who did fail, they actually were able to sign back up, and we were just like, oh, maybe it's wrong, but it wasn't. Right. No, unfortunately. And then everybody who couldn't sign up, they had actually passed.
These are our tips to getting ready for the boards. We hope that you try the trick and let us know if it works.
Yes, and you guys are going to kill it.
You guys are going to kill it. You got this. You got this.
Yep. So as always, if you like the content, give us a like, subscribe below. And if you want to ask any questions or leave anything about your experiences, just leave that in the comment section below.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Good luck.
Don't